If you grew up in Britain, you know this sound. The quiet drizzle on the window. The hum of a warm house. The comforting smell of toast and tea. This isn't just nostalgia. It's memory, wrapped in the sound of rain, the taste of beans on toast, and the sight of that familiar blue and white trolley. Before we start, tell me, where are you watching from right now? And what time is it? Because for the next hour, we're stepping back into a Britain that felt slower, softer, and just a little more magical. There was a time when the weekly shop was the highlight of the week. A family ritual, not a chore. The car ride, there was a journey of excitement. You'd sit in the back seat staring out the window, counting how many red cars you could spot before arriving. And then the doors would slide open. That familiar supermarket smell greeting you. Clean floors, soft lights, and rows upon rows of things you'd grown up loving. In Britain, the trolley wasn't just metal and wheels. It was a time machine, filled with snacks, dreams, and memories. If you grew up in Britain, your trolley probably had a few of these. A loaf of Warburtons, always soft, always slightly squashed by the time you got home. A pack of digestives, because every cupboard needed them. And somewhere deep at the bottom, a box of Cocoa Pops that you swore you'd share with your siblings, but never did. There was Ribena, Robinson Squash, Angel Delight, Jaffa Cakes, and of course, fish fingers. That unmistakable golden crisp smell on a Friday night. Each item had its place. Each had a story. Because these weren't just groceries. They were the ingredients of childhood. A taste of home. A touch of comfort. And a reminder that even the smallest things could mean the world. Do you remember going shopping with your parents? The way the floors always gleamed? The way the trolley had that one wobbly wheel? You'd beg to push it, even though it never went straight. You'd sneak a chocolate bar in when no one was looking. And if you were lucky, Mom might actually say yes. Dad would disappear down the cereal aisle. Mom comparing prices like it was an Olympic sport. And you wandering between aisles, mesmerized by the colors and sounds. The trolley would slowly fill. And by the end, you could barely see over the top. And that final sound, beep, 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 was like the closing soundtrack of every childhood weekend. The drive home was always peaceful. You'd sit in the back seat watching raindrops race down the window, the boot packed with bags, and that warm, tired silence between your parents. The world outside looked cold, but inside the car it was safe, familiar, British. You'd get home, help unpack, well, pretend to, and sneak a biscuit from the new pack before dinner. And just like that, another Saturday was complete, simple, ordinary, but somehow unforgettable. It's 3:30 in the afternoon. School's finished. The sky's gray, the pavement damp, and all you can think about is what's waiting in the kitchen when you get home. A slice of toast with butter, a cup of tea you probably didn't even like back then, and that unmistakable crinkle. A packet of Walker's crisps. Sometimes it was cheese and onion, sometimes ready salted. But the best ones, the pickled onion monster munch. They burned your tongue just a bit, and you loved it. You'd sit cross-legged in front of the TV, watching Blue Peter or Grange Hill. And for that moment, life was simple. And then came the rain. It always came. But in a strange way, you didn't mind it. Because in Britain, the rain meant warmth inside. A warm jumper, a mug of Horlicks, and the comfort of knowing you didn't need to be anywhere else. There was something magical about those evenings. Curtains drawn, the smell of dinner in the air, and that little orange glow from the lamps. Mom might be ironing. Dad might be reading the paper. You quietly drawing, or building something out of Lego on the carpet. Those small, quiet moments became the memories that lasted the longest. If you grew up in Britain, you knew the weekly menu like clockwork. Monday, spaghetti hoops on toast. Tuesday, fish fingers and chips. Wednesday, beans and sausages. And Sunday, always a roast dinner. There was Bisto gravy, bird's custard, and that sound, the spoon scraping the last bit of Angel Delight from the bowl. And no matter how fancy life gets now, nothing quite beats the taste of Mom's roast potatoes, crispy on the outside, soft in the middle. It wasn't gourmet, but it was home. Every British child had that moment. Standing in the supermarket aisle, negotiating with your parents. Can I get this? Not today. Please, I'll do the washing up. Sometimes they'd give in. And your prize? A pack of penguins? A curly whirly? Or if you were lucky, a box of celebrations. And do you remember when a Kinder Surprise felt like treasure? Half chocolate, half mystery. You'd tear it open like it was Christmas morning. Those weren't just snacks. They were moments. Tiny, edible pieces of happiness. Saturday night. The week's over. The trolley's unpacked, and the whole house smells like dinner. The takeaway night begins. Maybe it's fish and chips, maybe Chinese, maybe Indian curry that filled every room with warmth. Plates on laps, the TV glowing in the dark, and everyone gathered for Top of the Pops, Gladiators, or You've Been Framed. That was family. No phones, no scrolling, just laughter, comfort, and the feeling that you were exactly where you needed to be. Do you remember that feeling? That quiet joy of knowing tomorrow was Sunday, and you could sleep in? The older you get, the more you realize, it wasn't the big things that mattered. It was the small, ordinary ones. The sound of the rain on the windows, the smell of fresh bread from the trolley, the soft flicker of the TV light across your living room. Those weren't just details. They were the background music of our childhood. And maybe, just maybe, we didn't realize how lucky we were to live in a world where happiness could fit inside a shopping bag. It's Friday night. The week's done. Homework's forgotten, uniforms tossed aside, and that quiet thrill fills the air. You can almost smell it, can't you? Fish and chips wrapped in paper, steam rising from the vinegar, the first bite that burns your tongue, but you don't care. Someone's shouting from the living room, "Come on, it's starting." And just like that, the family gathers. The glow of the television lights the room. Everyone's there. Mom, dad, siblings. Plates on laps, drinks on the carpet. And for a moment, the whole world feels small, safe, and perfect. There was something special about British TV back then. You didn't just watch it, you shared it. Gladiators, The Bill, You've Been Framed, Coronation Street. The laughter, the shouting, the endless debates about which show was better. You didn't have 500 channels, or streaming, or algorithms deciding what you liked. You had choice, but you also had togetherness. And that was everything. Do you remember falling asleep halfway through a film, only to wake up to the end credits, and your mom gently saying, "Bedtime, love"? It was ordinary, but somehow, extraordinary. Then came Saturday, a day that felt like pure freedom. No alarms, no uniforms, just the glow of the telly, and a bowl of cereal that tasted like joy. You'd curl up in front of Live and Kicking or TV Live, still in your pajamas, laughing till your stomach hurt. The world was simple then. The biggest decision you had to make was which cereal to pick next, Frosties, Cocoa Pops, or Weetabix. And for a moment, life was just about cartoons, cereal, and sunshine. The truth is, growing up in Britain wasn't always easy, but it was simple. You didn't have much, but what you had meant something. A family meal on a rainy night, a 1-pound treat from the corner shop, a Sunday roast that brought everyone to the table. You didn't need to post it, or film it, or prove it. You just lived it. And looking back now, you realize how much beauty there was in that simplicity. How much joy could fit inside a single shopping trolley. Because those groceries, those snacks, those little brands, they weren't just food. They were memories, stories, and symbols of a time we'll never get back. A jar of Marmite meant breakfast before school. A packet of custard creams meant tea with your nan. A tin of Heinz beans meant dinner on a night when money was tight. But love wasn't. And now, when you walk down the same aisles, the packaging might have changed, the prices too. But the feeling? It's still there, hidden between the shelves. Because you didn't just grow up buying those groceries. You grew up through them. So wherever you are watching from tonight, take a breath. Think back to your childhood trolley. What was inside? Was it Ribena? Jaffa Cakes? Maybe Angel Delight or Fish Fingers? Whatever it was, that was your story. A piece of Britain's soul, folded into everyday life. Because if you grew up in Britain, you didn't just shop. You lived. You learned kindness, gratitude, and the quiet beauty of ordinary days. And that's the thing about nostalgia. It's not about going back. It's about remembering what made you feel alive and carrying that warmth forward. So tell me, where are you watching from? And what's one thing you'll never forget from growing up in Britain?